This is Optimal Living Daily, episode 1670. Summer's most magical moments happen around the campfire, by Jay and Heather Harrington of lifeandwhim.com. And I'm Justin Malik, your personal narrator, reading to you with permission from the authors. I cover lots of topics like personal development or self-help, mindfulness, happiness, anything that I think can help you live a more meaningful life in just a few minutes every single day. So with that, let's get right to it as we optimize your life. Summer's most magical moments happen around the campfire, by Jay and Heather Harrington of lifeandwhim.com. Heather and I took the kids camping this past weekend. We didn't travel far, just over to a campground on the eastern edge of Sleeping Bear Dunes outside of Empire. We're starting to develop rhythms and rituals on our family camping trips. Most are of the traditional variety, and certainly one of our favorites is the evening campfire. First, we gather dry leaves, pine needles, and small sticks for kindling. Then it's s'mores with the girls and conversation recounting the day's adventures. There are few distractions outside of the crackling fire, and so the kids often get restless. This quiet time is a bit of a shock to their systems, and so downtime is easily mistaken for boredom. But soon, they begin to explore the edges of our campsite, gathering rocks, finding bugs, and inventing games in which they are daring explorers probing new territory. We've learned to give it time for them to get bored with their boredom. Eventually, the campfire becomes a precursor to creativity. Once the girls go to bed, Heather and I settle in around the fire in camp chairs with plenty of beer in the cooler and good summer music softly playing in the background. Saturday was the perfect night for a fire. Our wood was dry, there was little wind. The campground has a canopy of tall trees, but there was a clearing above our site that allowed us to look up at the stars on what was a brilliantly clear night. The fire burned warm in the cool air as we poked at glowing embers with sticks. We gazed both at the stars above and the dancing flames at our feet, and we talked. There's a reason we still tell stories around campfires. For thousands of years, humans have gathered around the communal fire and told stories about legends, dreams, and adventures. It's no different today, as many of the most intimate conversations take place over candlelit dinners, in front of cozy living room fireplaces, and around the warmth of outdoor fire rings. It's as if the whiff of smoke and flicker of flame bring out a primal instinct to connect and share. Perhaps that's why summer campfire memories of time spent with friends and family are so vivid and lasting. The draw of the campfire is baked into our DNA. The space around a campfire is like the starry sky above, infinite and full of possibility. It's a place for white space and wonder, free from the constraints of everyday life. It's where Heather and I like to think big. And even if those dreams seem less attainable the next morning in the harsh light of day, they still smolder long after the night's end. Even the ashes of a long extinguished fire can be stoked back to life with a bit of effort. Perhaps I'm taking this too far. After all, many would argue that a campfire is just a utilitarian pile of flaming sticks meant for generating heat and cooking food. But I don't think so. Symbols and traditions are what give meaning to families and cultures. And for many of us, the tradition of the summer campfire is one of the most powerful. Even former Disney CEO Michael Eisner has reflected on the campfire's importance in making him who he is. Quote, "Simply consider the lessons I was taught by the campfire. Every time the rich reward was the same as we simply sat and enjoyed our consuming creation. And there was one aspect in particular that never failed to intrigue me, and that was the process of seeing the single small flame of the match spread to the kindling, and then the twigs, and then the smaller branches, and finally the larger logs. It didn't dawn on me until years later, but this was the perfect metaphor for the creative process. Years later, I found myself running a network television division, and then a movie studio, and now an entire entertainment company. But much of the success I've achieved can be traced to the direct and metaphorical lessons I learned in building those campfires." End quote. The point is that summer, especially here in northern Michigan, goes fast, too fast. It's a paradox, a time to slow down, but also a time to pack in as much as possible. Summer is a time to make memories, the most enduring of which are born from rich experiences. And the summer campfire is a place to both relive memories and create new ones. It's where ideas take shape. As Eisner explained, it's where sparks of creativity become raging infernos of lifelong purpose. Purpose is a very personal thing. It means something different to everyone. But when it comes to discovering purpose, We all have one thing in common. We most often find it in quiet moments of reflection. We've been writing a lot about adventure this summer, and we often equate adventure with robust physical activity. But some of the most exciting adventures happen when our bodies are still and our minds are racing with possibility. The season of blue skies and warm lakes is quickly slipping by, so here's an idea to add to your end of summer bucket list. There's no better place to engage in adventurous dreaming about life's infinite possibilities than around the campfire. You just listened to the post titled, Summer's Most Magical Moments Happen Around the Campfire by Jay and Heather Harrington of lifeandwhim.com. Now, as a small business owner myself, it's frustrating to pay unnecessary fees to keep up with my minimum bank balance. For years, the banks that I've worked with would impose a charge if my balance fell below a certain amount. I'm so glad that Azlo has taken the lead to improve the business banking experience by eliminating this. Azlo is a free online-based business checking account with invoicing, bill pay, money transfers, and no fees. And again, no minimum balance. Unlike others, there's no minimum deposit required too. Plus, you'll never be charged maintenance or overdraft fees. And a favorite part of mine, no ridiculous and annoying phone support system. Azlo is owned by BBVA USA, member FDIC, and because they have made business banking a seamless experience with their fee-free checking account, Money Magazine has called them the best business banking option for freelancers and entrepreneurs. If you're a new business owner looking for a fast and reliable option, check out Azlo. Sign up right now with no minimum deposit at azlo.com/old and get a free copy of Azlo's Small Business Starter Guide, spelled azlo.com/old, and sign up with the free Small Business Starter Guide and no minimum deposit. Azlo.com/old. And thank you to Jay and Heather. I know I've mentioned this before, but it's so true what he said about being bored at first, but then exploring, gathering bugs, making up games. That's exactly how it is for adults too. It reminds me of what's called lifestyle creep. The more we make, the more we spend usually. But on top of that, the more we get, and the more we grow accustomed to that. It becomes normal and our whole bar goes higher for what we think we need, which is why the richest people in the world will tell you that money is not the source of happiness. It is to a certain extent up to the point where most people would call enough, but after that, it just isn't going to change your day-to-day happiness. And that's what happiness studies actually show. So having a goal of being a millionaire or things like that, you do you, but it's probably not actually the money you're looking for. So something to think about today. But that should do it. Hope you're having a great day, and I'll be back tomorrow for the Wednesday show, where your optimal life awaits.